fight against Smite is he's looking to try to get that reboot card onto Larson as the third-party shots are beginning to come in from the distance. And that's the thing, you know as well as I do, any drop that's contested and you have that early game fight, and especially it builds just like this, there are so many teams that are going to look at you to get their surge.
Now in the past, Smite has been known to walk away with at least one elim in every single major game. This time might actually break his streak that he's been on, but Muzz and Looter, take a look at the respect here to play cautious, take their time, and not overcommit even in the 2v1. That's the respect, but let's get to the real battle. Cloudy Kondo, Tayson, Chapix taking on this big duo toe-to-toe. It's Mustache and Malabuka, who have a 73%, 78% win ratio when contested. The odds are not looking good. The third party in the distance, Aqua's up on high ground. They're positioning for the fight.
Yeah, Breeze on A and Aqua, they have that high ground, just put damage onto two different players. They're like eating at a buffet. Just down on one in Baka from NA West. They're trying to take control of that POI, but all three teams are here. But you got to keep notice while all the action is going down between Malabuka and Mustache, you see Aqua and Reason just trying to keep their distance.
Crazy how they fight back. They are not just allowing this team to third party them. Reason gets super hurt there, and it looks like the battles in the distance get to conclude. But here and now this fight rages on here. Reason all of a sudden has such an advantageous position, right? And lands all those shots, the entire tables have turned.
Yeah, and it does look like the NA West, Baka and On1 have solidified. Chrome Jam jumps into their self. Down goes Mr. Savage. Down goes iDrop. NA West makes some noise.
That's right, and now for Jace and Basil, another team that was contested in the early kind of situation, but it seems like they've won themselves some space.
Yep.
They're vibing out. Look at the Storm Surge tags here as they start to fight back the teams that are out on the outer edges here. What a great spot to be, especially with the zone housed right on top of them. They have so much going for them now that they don't have to worry about that. Whoa, a big fight though. On1 gets back. That's the replay there. I love that we got to catch that.
And you can see the strategy coming out from On1 and Baka. They switched up their drop spots this weekend. It's not like they've been practicing there all season long. They're just adapting on the fly. As you see Booga, Mero, we already talked about that uncontested drop spot of Chonkers Speedway. The zone is kind of above them, and they're one of those teams that just waste no time trying to figure out what that game plan is. They're going to try to get to zone and then worry about surge when all those other teams that are south and east of them have to go past them.
And the Middle Eastern, one of the few representatives of the Middle East community here, and Andalex, what a monumental task to step up here and for the first time ever compete with a duo. So we love to see what we have going on here. So much representation of all of our spaces. You know what I saw, which was in the feed as well? Japan versus Brazil. Looks like Peppo found one too. So little exchanges happening everywhere. As now we jump over to Vino and Queasy, some of the best at Shiny Sound.
Yep, you see them just going for their own surge. This is going to be one of the wildest lobbies we've ever seen. If you're down on surge at any point in the game, you're forced to play catch up to all these elite teams who know exactly how to handle their own surge if they are above. But one of the big teams, one of the favorites to possibly take the competition overall, Janice and Vadil, Greasy Grove, uncontested, and everybody knows what they can do uncontested.
Janice is the only European player to have ever picked up an FNCS in solos, trios, and 3 different game modes. Such a decorated team that we have together. That's our German powerhouses. As we jump over to Anas and Pink, what a team right now. Remember, they were contesting Clicks and Duke down at the Joneses. It seems like things might have slowed down for them. They've been a bit more passive. There's a single elim though right inside there too, so that's a pickup.
Yeah, and for a lot of these teams today, this is just game number 1. The nerves right now, they're just feeling each other out, trying to figure out how everybody's playing, and then they're going to adapt as soon as this one gets at least towards the mid game, probably towards the end game. It's going to get super exciting very, very quick as Mustache, Malabuka, that fight done and over with. They know it's about the resource, about matting up and setting yourself up for later on.
And I love that you say that because what they have that the other teams don't, tons of accessibility to the metal. Yep. You see how their metal resources really starting to cap out there. Tayson and Chapix, though, they're going to give up the drop. They say, hey, enough is enough. We've, kind of gotten our hands dirty. Let's go and move out. And you notice that they also managed to take home the metal as well. Everything else, man, you can find it on your way out, right? It's the toughest resource to rebuild back is that metal when you are at the drop spot. So this is a team until access.
Yeah, and it's also one of the first materials that you use when really trying to defend yourself. As Zagu and Miram just kind of looting up the Greasy Grove, whatever Janice and Vidil left behind. And there's actually a lot of the teams that landed Rave Cave a little bit north that are trying to rotate towards this slower side of zone. And right now, everybody are just stuck in zone because nobody wants to bite off more than they can chew.
This is our current reigning champions of the Japanese region, representing for Japan of the Asia region here. Now we jump over to Ed and King. One of the most explosive duos. We talked about Ed's history, how much he's really risen to the challenge, improving season after season. Now paired up with King, they have such a fun history here. They have engaged against one another multiple times in FNCS in seasons past. Now they get to play together.
Yeah, kind of rotating all the way from north, Chrome Jam Junction. They find themselves a sweet spot, but a team that has so much experience together, but years ago, now reuniting for the Invitational, Macwood and Kanata. And let me tell you, in some of those practice games, Monster, that uncontested drop spot that Kanata and Macwood have proven to be fruitful. They got first place in scrims, and now they're here to try to replicate that on the biggest stage.
Only 2 duos have fallen, and now another steps into the position here to possibly take a fight, but no, Bevies and Vortexer know a little bit better. They're going to land right behind Chappie. They find Takes it out by himself. A great shot here, and now he steps up, but smarter to go ahead and defensively poise up here. No need to get too antsy.
Yeah, not just yet, at least. You can't really get too busy too early. There's so many players that right now, you see 95 left alive. When Storm Surge actually activates Monster, this is probably going to be one of the most scariest things I've seen in Fortnite in quite a while.
That is true, and Bevies and Vortexers are really considering peeking out. Now, one thing we spoke about with the professional players is that one thing you don't do is open those big boxes and peek for too long. If there's ever a time to do it, you can do it here in the early game kind of situation while you have some time. But while we have some time, let's just go ahead and catch up with Mini Miner.
Not quite there, Tokata, but close enough. I got you, Monster. We're going to be taking a look at North Shiny Sounds, where we have a fan-favorite duo, Queasy and Vino. I find it interesting how they were playing split up here. Queasy was on the low ground, taking shots from opposing duos, but Vino, up above on the balloon, was able to get free tags on the opposing duos that were looking at Queasy, and having this split mentality in the drop spot is crucial for getting those free tags and able to set yourself up for that late game.
An amazing breakdown there, Jacob.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't really mention it. Did you see the 18 splashes on him? Yeah. These guys are ready for that end game. If you have that much heals, that's going to allow you, if you are down on Surge, to kind of handle it. Fabs and Stacky, FNCS champions from NA West, hurting on Storm Surge right now, trying to get themselves back up. But it does look like the fight, maybe the dust have settled, and this is the aftermath that you see. Yeah, Fabs does have one elimination, 36 above the damage threshold. Even though right now they have a little bit of comfortability, that threat is still looming in the back of their minds.
That's right, and they rolled up, they took down a team there, and now they get to go ahead and reap the rewards. They needed those tags, but that's not going to be enough. There's a little bit more in front of them. Ooh. A team that's well below the Surge right now, our full Middle Eastern duo, Spy and Focus, are sitting here, and it's not looking too hot. 220 damage below. I had so much time to catch up with Spy. He is